Lane, where it's everything real estate. Now, with me today, I have some very special guests from Fakhruddin Properties. We are right here on the site of Mayfair Visitor Project, a project by Fakhruddin Properties. And we are with the clients, engineers, who will be taking us through the topic of painting, but we will start with the wall damp and wall treatment. Like, what causes walls to mold? What causes paint to peel off? You know, you've seen when you've entered a house or outside the house where you see paint peeling off or paint molding or forming bubbles. Well, they'll be telling us what causes that and how to avoid it. And even the remedies in case you messed up in the beginning. What can you do to rectify it? Ladies and gentlemen, welcome with me our first guest tonight, Madam Joan from Fakhruddin. Please say hi to them.
Hello, my name's Nabure Joan Dora, working as a materials engineer, Mayfair Visitors, under Fakhruddin Properties. Thank you.
Thank you, Joan. And next, we have also another client engineer, Joab. Please say hi to our guest.
Hi, everyone. I'm by the name's Kiria Job. And here at Mayfair Visitors, I work as the client's engineer. Actually, Mayfair Visitors, it is a site which is brought up by Fakhruddin Properties. And basically, it is to provide affordable housing facility. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Joab. Welcome. And this evening, we want to know, what is wall damp?
Actually, what we call wall dampness, it is actually a cause of water penetration from the ground to the superstructure of the wall of the building. Basically, what causes it, what causes wall dampness, we shall take an example of like this wall. It's a wall which is built on a ground level. And basically, water penetration, it comes from the ground, from the ground floor, penetrating the walls. It is basically caused as a result of not providing the remedy. And the remedy is always providing the DPC, which we shall call the damp-proof course membrane. The DPC, that is the membrane which prevents water penetration from the ground to the superstructure of the building.
What does the DPC look like? You know, some of us
DPC,
don't speak construction.
Give a sample of something like this. It is like a polythene. It is a polythene, but it is made in such a way that it can avoid water from penetrating through it. It has a waterproof kind of element, yes. It has an element of waterproofing. In that, if water is coming from down, it will just stop there.
Okay.
Yes, instead of penetrating through the walls.
So you're saying that wall damp happens because the people who did construction did not put that in a foundation?
Yes.
Yes.
Ah. So what happens if... when do you apply that?
Actually, during construction, we have got what we call slab preparation. So slab preparation, there is where we do maram filling, we compact to the required grade. Then after maram compaction, we provide hardcore.
Okay.
Hardcore. After providing hardcore, then we provide the sand blinding on top of the hardcore. So after the sand blinding, we provide what we call a DPM, damp-proof course membrane.
Okay.
It looks like this. This is a sample of the DPM. It's always in a roll. So this is covered everywhere throughout the slab to be casted.
Okay.
Yes. So after providing this damp-proof course, that's when we provide a BRC, the British reinforcement cage.
Okay.
After the British reinforcement cage, then we cast our slab, following the class of the concrete designed. So after casting the slab, when we have done all the sufficient
The slab is the
curing,
mixture of cement and
it is
Aggregates
small
and
stones.
sand.
the slab is cast in concrete.
Okay.
Concrete, which is a mixture of cement, sand, aggregates with sufficient water, sufficient amount of water.
Okay.
Why do I say sufficient amount of water? Of course, if you provide too much water when you're casting your concrete, of course we shall get a lot of hair cracks, which is a point of weakness. So usually when we are casting, we use a minimum amount of water. Yes. So after casting the slab, what we look at next is now raising the superstructure.
Okay.
I was meaning the ground floor slab. After casting the ground floor slab, we look at raising the superstructure. Remember when we were casting our slab, we provided a damp-proof membrane. But still, that is not enough. So when we are planning to raise the walls for the superstructure, we still provide what we call a DPC, the damp-proof course membrane.
Okay.
Yes. So this is to help us that in any case, if water penetrates through the DPM we provided when we are casting the slab,
Okay.
we still have the chance to avoid water from penetrating through the what? Through the DPC. It will provide already a membrane which will not allow the water to penetrate through. So we have two ways of avoiding already. So there is no big chance. So like if we are planning to raise this wall, on the slab, the cast slab, what we call the slab on grade, we lay where, we of course, following the drawings, we have gotten positions where we are supposed to lay different types of walls,
Okay.
following the sizes. There are some drawings which will show you that if you're building an external wall, you're going to use a 200 thick wall. There is where you're going to find, if it is an internal wall, you're going to use, let's say, a 150 millimeter wall thickness. So when you're providing the DPC, you provide depending on the size of the wall.
Yeah. Careful.
So you will cut a piece of DPC, making sure at least it goes beyond the size of the wall. But at least
those are the buveras I see peeping
yes,
normally.
yes,
Okay.
yes.
Okay.
It should go beyond.
Okay.
When you're cutting it, you cut it more than the size of the what?
Of the wall.
Not less
The
than
block.
an inch.
Mainly the block of
At least not less than an
An
inch. Yes.
To cover it.
Yes.
Okay.
So then after providing it on the cast slab on grade, you start laying the superstructural walls.
That's when you start laying the bricks and
Yes.
whatnot.
Yes.
Okay. So what are the effects of water penetrating apart from the wall damp? Does it have any other effects, Joan, to the whole structure?
Of course, it will weaken the structure. When the water penetrates, it will make it weak, and with the period of time when it will last, it may fall off, like the structure may fall off.
Is that what causes buildings to fall? Part of the causes?
Yes, it can be a part of the cause, but mainly it can be materials. Yeah, when the quality of materials is poor, of course it will fall off the structure.
Okay.
Yeah, and in addition to what Job said, okay, mainly this damp-proof membrane, of course, it's mainly placed in the what? In the substructure. That lower structure, we call it substructure. Before we come to the superstructure upwards, you can't put it up because water will penetrate till that level. Yes, that's why we place it down in the substructure. Yeah.
Okay. So now that we have known that one is supposed to do that, but I see most rentals have that wall dampness, that issue. How do you help those landlords to rectify such a problem?
So if it so happened that maybe during construction, you forgot to do the damp-proof membrane. You didn't provide the damp-proof membrane, the damp-proof course rather. And the time has reached. Water is penetrating through to the walls by means of capillarity. Of course, by then you are going to see effects of, if you painted the wall, you'll see the wall the paint starting to peel off.
Yes.
Yes.
And the bubbles coming.
And the bubbles be like coming out. So the only solution you have to do, usually what we do what we call underpinning.
Okay.
Yes. So underpinning, you have got, if this is the wall, and it is very true that you didn't provide the damp-proof course. So you have got to provide, it is compulsory. That's why we say in engineering there is no any shortcut. If you did the shortcut, it will bring you back. So if you didn't provide the waterproofing, the damp-proof course, you still have to provide it.
How do you do that without bringing the house down?
Yes. So how we do that, like assuming this is our house and we didn't do the waterproofing, we have got to break this wall at the bottom in portions. Of course, if you happen to break it all at once, it is going to do what? It is going to fail. So if you want to avoid it from failing, you can get a portion, let's say 500. You break down like a distance of 500. So after breaking that place, you support it properly.
Okay.
That's what I was calling, you jack it. You jack the wall.
Okay.
In a such a way it cannot collapse.
Down. Okay.
So after jacking that portion, you provide the damp-proof course. After providing the damp-proof course, you can rebuild again. You reconstruct again.
Okay.
So after reconstructing, you have to give it some time to set. It is not that you have rectified this place, immediately you go and break another area. No. It is done in a gentle way.
Like how long?
You can do this portion. You give it, let's say 12 hours. Then the next 12 hours, you provide another one. Like that. But not exactly doing it concurrently. Yes.
Thank you so much. We are going to take a short break and we will be back. We will be back to talk about painting. We are going it bit by bit. We started with understanding what makes paint peel off, what causes that wall damp. We will be right back. Welcome back from that very brief break. We are still here at Mayfair Visitor Fakhruddin Properties project in Chiwatule. And with me, I have another guest who is into interior decoration. And he's also going to be taking us through painting and all those things that make your living room or kitchen or your house look as beautiful as it finally is when you want to enter. But before we introduce our guest, we are going to go briefly back to Joab to tell us, after layering and after doing all the prevention that will prevent the wall damp, the treatment of the wall, how do we get to this level where we now can choose the paint? And what is this wall called? Like, it looks like paint, but it's not paint. What is it called, Joab?
So this is just a skimmed wall. Skimmed wall.
Like milk?
No, not milk. Skim, that is after providing the skim layer.
How do we get to this level? How do we ensure from this level there are no more issues for our other guests that I'll be introducing?
Now we are here looking at, as we are getting into the final preparation of our walls. So of course, a well-prepared wall, it will be painted.
Okay.
When you are getting into the house, it will look, after providing the final paint, to look smart and ready to be occupied. Basically, when we are preparing the wall to the final finishing, there are procedures we undertake. The first procedure is to make sure the wall is well prepared. We clean it. How do we clean it? We use what we call a sandpaper. We sand all the rough. In any case, if they were plastering some other places and the mortar happened to fall on this wall which we need to paint, we have to clean off.
Okay.
Then we get back to a very good, the wall which was prepared initially during plastering.
Okay.
So we have to sand off all the uneven materials which is on it. We clean it properly. Then after cleaning it, we provide what we call undercoat.
Oh.
We provide a layer of undercoat. So after providing undercoat, we are forced to clean again. We move again back. Look for, by the time, you see, for a wall, before providing undercoat, it might look clean. But when you provide that coat of undercoat, it exposes those other material which remained. So you are forced to go back and prepare again, clean properly. So after cleaning it again, you provide another layer of undercoat. Then you start what we call skimming. Yes.
So that is skimming?
Yes, skimming.
Is it also smooth, like ready for painting?
During doing this is not yet ready.
Oh.
What we do, actually the skimming, it is done by mixing some undercoat with some material which we call whitening. You mix the whitening with undercoat properly. After then you start applying. So after applying, you are forced to come back and sand again.
Okay.
So that you can get a uniform layer. When you touch this wall, it looks smooth.
Yeah, it does. It feels smooth.
Yes. So you've got, after skimming, you have to come back and sand, but you can get a uniform layer. There are some cases where you'll find that during the process of skimming, there are some places you didn't do to the maximum. So you will be forced to go back
and clean.
Skim again, and again sand properly until you get a uniform surface on the wall to be painted.
I told you we have a guest that will be taking us through interior decor. After we have known how to prepare the walls for painting, of course, eventually we need the interior decorators to come and beautify this house and tell us what to do, where to paint, which color, which paint to use, which paint goes in, which paint goes outside the walls. So ladies and gentlemen, welcome with me, Mr. Ngugi Michael, an interior decorator.
Thank you, Catherine, for having us today. I also want to take this opportunity to thank Fakrudin Properties for allowing us to come and use their property, Mayfair Vista, Stuartule. I encourage everyone, come and have a look at this property. My work is an interior designer. After the engineers have finished construction, the interior designer comes in and makes that premises usable to the purpose what the owner wants to use it. If it's a home, it's an office, if it's a commercial space, we make it what it should be. So I am the person who is in charge of doing finishes to that house, even if the engineer has come and done the construction and the painting. So we come in and suit the purpose. So there are different ways we do that, especially like on walls. If it's an interior wall, there are several ways that you can do finishes. There are those wall paints we can use for interior. For example, the most ideal is silk vinyl, but the other modern paints that if it's a residential house where you'll be sleeping, these days there are those paints that can repel mosquitoes and other insects. So you paint that paint on your wall and you'll not have mosquitoes for a period of time, maybe 6 months.
Do they work?
Yes, they do work. They do
really?
work. If it works on mosquito nets, it also works because the same chemicals they mix in the paint are the
Okay.
same ones they use on mosquito nets. So only that now it is put in a surface whereby, because mosquitoes, they just look for a place where they can clean. So they do work for a certain time. They're effective for a certain period of time. It's not forever, but it's for a certain period of time, maybe 6 months, 1 year, depending on how the paint was done. Then there are also paints that are good, ideal for outdoors. Then there are also paints that are ideal for surfaces. Like the paint for wall is not ideal for doors. So there's a paint, and then also for doors, there's a wooden door, there's a metallic door. So a paint for wooden door is not ideal for
A
metal
metallic.
door. So it also depends on the surface. Then also the space used itself. For example, there are those bright shouting colors like red, orange. They are not very ideal for the bedroom. Why? Because a bedroom is somewhere you go to relax and calm down. So you don't need a color that is shouting. You know, the mood, the colors, they activate a mood in you. So you go to a place, that's why when you go to a club, you get that happy feeling of that club or a restaurant. Then when you go to a place of relaxation, it's a different, when you go to a spa, the colors are different. So they evoke emotions. So there are colors that are, all that is the work of an interior designer to determine how the space, first you consider what is the space going to be used for.
Okay.
For you to know the colors to use. Then also the surface, the kind of surface you're looking at. If it's a wall, a brick wall like this, how do you work on it? If it has issues, probably like it has dampness, there are paints we use that can also control dampness.
Okay.
There's a particular kind of paint that you can use if the wall keeps on peeling. There are particular paints like epoxy paints, damp seals. All those, they help to take care of the dampness on the walls. So all those are the factors that we consider. And of course, most important, we consider the client's budget, because paints also come in different costs. They have different budgets. So there are cheap paints, there are other middle, and then there is also high level, like textures. There is a particular paint called stucco paste. It's quite costly, so you can't consider using that for a client who has a lower budget. So, and those high cost, they have a very smooth finish. There are spaces you enter and you have to touch to feel whether it is glass or paint. So there are paints that give you a finish like glass. So those are some of the paints we use. Those are some of the wall finishes. And of course, there are modern paints. There are modern finishes you can use, not necessarily paint. There are ceramics you can use. They are not really tiles. They are carbons, carbon fibers that look very nice. You just, after the wall, you don't even need to do the undercoat. You don't need to do the plastering. After doing the brick wall, you bring in the other finishes and the wall is good to go.
Oh, you don't paint. They are like
paint.
wallpaper.
Yes, they're not like, they are also wallpapers.
Hey.
So you can also use, now wallpaper is a material kind of a fiber. It's not really fiber, it's like vinyl. In fact, wallpapers are vinyl. But now the other materials are texture, they are fibers. Like the way you see a bumper of a car, that kind of plasticish or something. So they are fibers and they have very beautiful finishes. You can do this wall with that fiber and it will look like it is like it's made marble or granite, the whole thing. So there is also bamboo, there is wood. These days you have plenty of options that you can go with. So that is basically what you can do on the wall finishes.
Wow. Okay. Before Michael comes in, after skimming, how do we get to Michael coming into paint?
Yeah, thank you very much once again. Initially, like the way I explained to you, how you can prepare the wall ready for painting. So it will reach a time, like my colleague has already explained, about selection of paint. There are some paints which can work internally, and there are paints which don't work internally.
Why?
Yes. Like he said, if you choose, like, let's say, shouting colors, like red, let's say black, if you paint black inside, it's really not necessary. Because also, if you look at what we call coverage, depends on the type of light, the type of what? The type of paint. If the paint is too dark, there is a situation where you'll be in a large room, but when you enter it, it will look to be like a small room. So, bright colors give you wide coverage, and darker colors, they limit the coverage. So that's why within the interior, within the internal walls, let's say bedrooms, sitting room, you've got to choose the right type of paint. At least must be a bright kind of paint.
Thank you, Joab and Michael. We are going to continue with another episode on painting, where we will be looking at colors and texture and which paint goes where. Ladies and gentlemen, it's been nice hanging out with you. See you next time.